Hi guys, welcome to Ride VIP, the Ride channel. My name is Serge, and in today's video I'm going to answer one of my most recent viewers' questions because it is a good question, and I think this is the thought of many of you minds. So let's see what he asks.
LOL, I'm sorry man, but none of this makes sense. Are you trying to drive fancy for yourself, or are you trying to make the most profit? Which one is it? Because if you are going to do Uber or Lyft, you need something that you can pay fully in less than 2 years without having any mechanical issues. That's a vehicle 25k USD or less, but nothing over 40k miles. Remember, the vehicle is a tool that will depreciate, so no sense spending crazy money for it, or else you will be stuck in a hamster wheel. Think like a business owner, not a guy who's trying to show off to people. Unless you are trying to be stuck working for Uber week to week with no way out. You can go to the Lyft or Uber website, and it lets you know what vehicles qualify for what and what year and model. Keep accepting rate up if you want to make the most. You will get better challenges and bonuses from both platforms. Stop trying to beat the system by cherry picking. I think at this point, you are just trying to convince yourself to drive fancy in a Tesla.
Okay, so I'm going to answer this. So first of all, it says, okay, so none of this makes any sense. So I'm imagining that he's talking about me renting a Tesla, and it looks like I'm just trying to basically drive fancy, and or am I trying to make a profit? That's true for the fancy part. Yes, I chose a Tesla specifically to be a little bit more fancy in hopes that I could make a profit, and taking my BMW into account because this is the only vehicle that I have, and I'm against buying a brand new car and paying it off. And I understand that you need the most efficient car there is, no doubt about it. You gotta have, in order to make money with the Uber X, you need to have an economy car that has economical type of mileage. You could put like regular gas in it, and fuel economy is, great. Obviously, my BMW is not one of those. At best, I'm getting 19 to 25 miles per gallon. Depends if I'm lead-footed or not. But in a Tesla, I was hoping that at least it's going to be the same as a BMW, maybe slightly worse. But my hopes was that I'll actually make a better profit because it's a Tesla. Here's what I noticed when I first rented a Tesla back in August. When I rented a Tesla back in August, I was getting much better tips. I was getting at least $500 more in tips per month. So I was thinking, wow, this is pretty good. And yesterday for me driving, I have not put that video out yet. Okay, I'm just gonna skip to the end. I think tips was pretty good for the amount of time that I drove. They were not great, but they were pretty good. I think I could do better, but either way, I'll make a video about that. But right now, things are not looking in my favor. I'll be honest with you guys. So yeah, so the only thing I feel that I'm gonna get out of this experience right now is driving fancy. But as far as the profit goes, okay, now I'm a fan of using what you got. So if you got a BMW, go ahead and use a BMW. Don't try to go and buy yourself a brand new car just because you think you're going to do well, okay? And that's what Tesla is for me. So back in, I believe it was July, I ordered myself a Tesla, brand new from Tesla. I ordered myself a Model 3 long range dual motor performance. And it was $65,000. And I have canceled that order. Well, I didn't really cancel it, but it came in November, I think like mid-November. And when it came in, Tesla notified me that I need to come in. And I started having second thoughts. Would this even make any sense of me owning that Tesla? Because at that time, I drove like crazy. And since I drove Tesla for 2 months, I knew what the charging is for me. So the charging was at 20 cents a kilowatt hour, and it was costing me between $800, $900 a month. So I'm like thinking, okay, so let's just say I drive like crazy. The Tesla that I ordered, $900 is going to cost me for the supercharging. Then insurance is going to cost me $300. And the Tesla payment is going to cost me $1,000. That's after I put $4,500 down at 4.5% interest rate. So I'm looking at what, like $2,200. I'm like, so when I was renting a Tesla, I was paying anywhere from $2,500 to $2,700 per week of Tesla ownership. So I'm thinking, I mean, excuse me, the Tesla rental. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to really say that differently. So I was kind of thinking like, wow, me renting a Tesla and just driving a dual motor, like, renting a Tesla dual motor and having the dual motor performance payment on the car is going to be equivalent to the cost of the rental. So I'm like thinking, oh no, like that's a bad idea. Plus, I'm going to be putting all those miles on the car. And with that being said, I changed my mind. But boy, did I want that Tesla, because boy, did I want to look fancy. I loved it. I fell in love with that thing. You should not fall in love with something, like that. This is why, they tell you, like, don't fall in love with the home, right? You're watching this home. It's beautiful. It's fancy. Don't fall in love with it, because it might break your back, Don't fall in love with the car. Because it's going to take all your money. It's like, don't be trying to buy a used car and falling in love with it, because you're never going to be able to get the best deal out of it, and that's, everybody knows that. But I did a mistake of falling in love with it, and when they said come and take a look at that car, I did not even go, because I knew I would not be able to hold back, and I would probably just buy it, because that's just how I am. I'm a little bit like I don't know, like what you say, like emotionally driven or impulsive purchaser, whatever that may be. That's how I am. I will buy something on impulse, yeah, just because I think it's a good deal. But with that being said, I also calculate, I also procrastinate, and procrastinating is not a bad thing. A lot of millionaires, they procrastinate because they want to make a calculated decision, calculated risk, and then they make the decision. So you cannot just simply make a decision, but if you're falling in love with it, you will make a decision, like, and being done with it. So first of all, so glad I canceled that Tesla. I also had one of the comments saying that you overthought things, and that you really should have got a Tesla. Really, no, I should not. I don't know if you've seen the latest news, but recently, to anybody that's purchased a Tesla right now, government's going to give you back like what, like $7,000 or something. And in order for them to qualify, I think the car has to be at around like 50 some thousand, maybe like 55,000. So Tesla's dropped by about like 10 grand. And now I'm like looking at it, I'm thinking like, okay, great. I'm glad that I didn't buy it, because also I'm thinking about like different things. Here's how I'm thinking. First of all, if I order a Tesla right now, like brand new, okay, I will save a lot of money. I'll have like a big tax credit, and I'll save money on the car. So that is number one. But is Tesla really the best choice for this? I don't know. There's obviously other competitors out there, and to make a full assessment, I've been watching and reading your comments. Some of you guys saying, get like a Hyundai Ioniq. Some of you saying, get yourself like, something else. And I'm looking at all the options. So I'm pretty good at calculating stuff. Yeah, I might overanalyze. That's just how I am. I overanalyze things because I look at the bigger picture, and I calculate stuff according to my use. Your use might be different. Maybe you're going to drive less, but I calculate like I'm going to drive the hell out of it. Drive it like you stole it. Drive it till the wheels fall off. That's how I am. And I'm thinking like, look, let's just say a Tesla, but it doesn't matter. Like in this case, I'll just use a dual motor performance Tesla, okay? Is it really a best choice to drive Uber? Not. Because first of all, performance, yeah, fast car, great, man, delicious, if you ask me. 3.10 to 60 acceleration. I mean, that's like supercars level territory. It's probably going to beat some supercars, but it's got a bigger rims. Sure, it looks nice. Less comfortable ride when you pair it with driving for Uber or Lyft. Also, it's more expensive. The dual motor would probably not be a good option either. Now, the cheapest single motor, if you could get it in long range, or at least like with 250-mile range, you're going to be okay. Maybe like 275. You will be okay. That's really all you need according to like my thinking. And I'm going to look into that. I'm going to probably go and try to build one on Tesla website. I'll make a recording and like a screen recording like this. And we're going to build one. They're going to see what they're going to charge for the cheapest option out there. I'm not even going to choose the color black. I'd say go with like the cheapest. Go with white. Go with black interior because that is standard. Go with the base base model, because ultimately what you want to do is you want to buy the cheapest Tesla, use the crap out of it, put lots of miles on, and get your money back. That would be the most important thing. But I think paying $65,000 for a Tesla is way too much. Now, some of these calculations that I'm doing, I have a dual motor. I did not choose a single motor to do this because, yeah, dual motor is a little bit more funner. If I'm going to be renting a Tesla, regardless, probably, most likely, it's not the best decision. But guess what, guys? I will make money. I will get my money back. And ultimately, I will get the experience of driving a Tesla, and I will enjoy that experience. Might as well get the dual motor. So I'm thinking like this. Before buying a Tesla or anything else, go rent it. Go rent it. See how it is. See how you like it. See if you could make money with it. If you could make money with it, then yeah, go buy it. You know, you have to look at your decision, and you have to look at the bigger picture. Look at it long term. Now, I want to tell you this, guys. This is something you all don't know, or maybe some of you guys know. I have 3 YouTube channels, and now I have this one. But my main channel makes me enough money to buy a Tesla and pay for it. I could easily do it with the channel. And I've been itching to buy myself something nice, because I'm like, whoa, I've been repairing cars for 8 years, showing people how to do, like repairs on Mercedes Sprinter diesels. And the whole entire time, my friends was like, hey, why don't you buy yourself a Mercedes Sprinter diesel, brand new? Because, I could afford it with the channel now. And I'm like, no, I would just buy myself a Corvette, But then I started thinking, good thing I didn't buy a Corvette, because if I buy a Tesla, I could have fun with it. It's fast, and I could actually use it for Uber when I want to. Now, I'm not looking at Uber being it's my main job. Now, this is, I think, by far the most convenient job that you could do. So I'm doing it right now because it's the most convenient, because February is convenient to work, and March is convenient to work, and actually January. But I mean, we're into February, so let's speak of February. Now, speaking of Teslas, I know I already mentioned it. Buying a brand new one, probably not a good idea. Charging now is going to be way more expensive than it was before. Yesterday, I charged at the cheapest charging station. It cost me $21. Today, that same one cost me almost $15. But that's because I was charging at night versus charging in the daytime. So 26 kilowatt per hour at night, and 36 kilowatt 36 cents a kilowatt hour in the daytime. So that makes a big difference. And that same charging place used to be 20 cents a kilowatt hour anytime you charge. And the weird thing is, this just shows you how some people, they're just delusional. Before I even rented this Tesla, I came to the charging area, because the only way you could really find out what the charging is at those places, I mean, maybe there's other ways, but that's the only way I know, is by actually owning a Tesla and looking at the computer screen, looking up the chargers and seeing all the prices for all the superchargers in the area. So I pulled up to just one person. I probably should have chose a couple, but I decided to trust this guy. And I said, hey, he's over there outside getting his Tesla charged. I said, hey, is it still 20 cents a kilowatt hour? He says, yes. Very sure of himself. And I'm like, okay, great, perfect. Next day, I rented a Tesla. That was my decision right there. I'm like, okay, 20 cents, I could make this work. And here's why I thought I will make this work, just to explain this a little bit further. Last time I rented a Tesla, I put 7,500 miles on it. And after paying for the Tesla and everything else, right, I was left with $5,500 in my pocket, clean money. The gross was more. The gross I used to pay it, and I made a video to show you guys that. That is the most recent video. You could see all the numbers in that thing. Granted, it's handwritten, but still, you could actually see that. So, compare that to last month, me driving a BMW for 9,000 miles. Guess how much money I put in my pocket, clean? $3,800. So I'm thinking, how did I just drive 9,000 miles and I only put in my pocket $3,800 when I rented a Tesla, paid all the bills on a Tesla, and I walked away with $5,500? Now that is a big question there. So now I'm thinking, okay, let me give this Tesla a week. I mean, I would like to use at least a month. I would like to use it for 6 weeks if this makes sense. Or 7 weeks. Use it till almost the end of March. Like why am I saying that, right? I would probably use the whole March, but my wife's birthday on March the 27th. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna rent it up until her birthday, and I'll just, like whatever that's gonna be, and then I'll take her to like a resort or something, and I'll just give the Tesla up at that point. But I'm thinking at least I could make some good money with it, in this time. So, anyways, let me see if I'm missing anything else. Okay, so I'm sure you already heard of Ressa because I had the computer read this. So he's saying which one is it, because if you're going to drive Uber or Lyft, you need something that you can pay fully in less than 2 years. I totally agree. This is why I'm saying, like, you gotta have something inexpensive, or use whatever you got that's already paid for. Like my BMW is $2,500. That's what I paid for it. So it's already paid for. So doesn't matter what I make. I'm not spending all this rent money for it. Like, it doesn't matter. It's like I own it. I don't have to drive it every day. Like Tesla, yes, I have to slave away. I gotta drive this every day. And yes, I gotta sleep in this thing. And today, I slept in this Tesla. And it's because trying to rent a Tesla, in order to make all the money possible, you pretty much got to sleep in it. And I live 1 hour away from Charlotte, so I got to commute 1 hour there, 1 hour back. And with the charging and everything, I'm thinking, like, just commuting alone, it means I have to charge it more often. And do I want to charge it more often? No, I don't. I want to be able to charge it and work like crazy. And yes, it's interesting that somebody said earlier that you have to, in one of my comments, in order to make any money, you got to drive like Expedite. And people are sleeping in their cars. Yes, exactly. I'm surprised somebody actually said that Expedite. Maybe they heard me say it, but if anybody knows anything about Expedite, that's exactly how it is. You drive in your van for 36 hours. You deliver that freight. You barely got any sleep. You're at that point, your heart is maybe like fluttering or whatever. Like, you cannot even fall asleep if you want to. And some people have died from doing that. It is absolutely dangerous. Some people die just sitting in their seat getting loaded, because you're putting your body through so much stress, and it's like almost like not worth it. But here's the thing, okay? Most people, they gotta pay bills. I just talked to one of my friends yesterday. I don't know what he's doing. He's one of my good friends, and I talked to him and I said, listen, I don't know what you're doing, but here's my advice. But he's making $1,000 a day with his business. And he all this time I thought, okay, I'm Ubering, and he'll say here and there, like, why are you Ubering? You're a smart guy, this and that. Like, I'm making $1,000 a day. You're making only like 300 plus expenses. I'm like, okay. So recently he told me he's in debt $10,000 to the credit card. And I told him, I said, listen, since when you got the credit? He says, since September of last year till now, $10,000. And he's hoping now to work 14 hours a day to pay that back, doing his business. And his back-breaking work. I'm not going to say what it is, but that's what it is. But anyways, and I said, wait a minute. I said, you told me you were making $1,000 a day. How the heck did you get into credit? Turns out, just his expenses for his family, like I'm talking about, like just home and all that business expenses, like whatever, $7,000. On top of that, well, yeah, that does not include a business expense. I'm sorry to say that. $7,000 just to cover the home and like whatever, utilities, whatever else goes with it, like with the cost of living, just the cost of living. $7,000. On top of that, he says his food costs him $4,000 a month, and on top of that, business expenses take everything else. And I'm like, whoa, like that's fuel, that's paying his people. Well, not people. He's got one guy. Well, doesn't matter. He pays one guy, has no money left over, and then has to compensate with a credit. I said, what? $4,000 on food? What are you guys eating? Like, you got to get on that beans and mac and cheese. Like Dave Ramsey says, if you're trying to pay off that credit card for $10,000, like, what are you eating? He's like, we're buying all the organic stuff. I'm like, yeah, it's nice, but you're in debt, Don't be buying organic right now. We'll hold off on that stuff. But anyways, what I meant to say by all this, okay? There's a lot of talk about like, oh, Uber doesn't make any money. Oh, Lyft doesn't make any money. I have friends that made fun of me. And those same friends, they have less money than I do. So how is that possible? And here's the truth. It's not how much you make, it's how much you spend. And yes, you can really, what should I say? Like, you can overextend yourself with bills. you're never gonna make enough money, whether you do an Uber or anything else. And it does help if you're smart. If you cut down all your expenses, like whatever you have, and if you if you have the car that's economical for Uber, it's the smartest option out there, especially if this is the only thing that you're doing. For me, this is not the only thing that I'm doing. I'm not even gonna go into what else I'm doing, but I don't need this for every single day. I choose to Uber and Lyft only when it's cold, only when it's raining, and sometimes I make it a hustle and I just like hustle like crazy because I really enjoy driving. I actually like the style job. What I would like to do is get paid more. So yes, I'm also looking for ways to increase my earnings. But at the same time, guys, you will not believe I live way below my means, like way below my means. And just from working simple jobs like Uber, Expedite, where you don't make no money. I'll give an example right now of Expedite, what I was making in Expedite. But in Expedite, here's how it looked like. So 5 days a week, I was making $2,500 gross. So how did that work out? So here's how it was. I would get a load from like let's just use this for example. I would be in Detroit, Michigan. I would get a load to Louisville, Kentucky. That load would pay five. That load would be like 500 miles. Okay, I got paid 80 cents per mile, and that was my vehicle that I was using. I was using a Mercedes Sprinter diesel, 24 miles per gallon. So at the time, fuel prices, well, diesel was very expensive. So I got a load 500 miles. That means 80 cents per mile is $400 I put in my pocket, right? But is it? I end up spending $100 on fuel alone for that trip. It always cost me $100 at that point, full tank of fuel, because that's Sprinter can go about like 650 miles on a full tank. That's pushing it a little bit, but never try to go that long. But maybe like 500 miles and then fuel up. But either way, it would cost me $500. I calculated. Plus, it would cost me food, whatever the food would be. But anyways, just don't even look at the food portion. $100 on fuel. That left me with $300 clean profit. That's it. Out of that money, I had to do expenses on that vehicle. I had to do everything else. You know, the whole cost of living thing. So that was not a lot of money. That means I was making $300 a day minus the food. Let's say $20 for food. I was at like $280 at that point, and I still had to have enough for my wife and my 2 kids at the time. I didn't have 3 kids at the time, so, and I had to pay rent and everything else. So, man, my vehicle was breaking down all the time. Like it was hard. It was hard as hell. And guess what? At the time, I didn't own my own house for cash. My friends were thinking that it's impossible for me to even buy my own house for cash. So some of them were truck drivers and they were making way more money than I am. And they're like, "You're still making that 80 cents per mile? That is nothing. Like you're making like nothing. Like we're over here making $2.50 per mile. So or like $2, And I'm like, okay, no problem. Including my dad. He's a truck driver as well. Guess what? All of them broke. All of them are broke. Nobody is making any money. All they're doing is the reason they're talking like that is because they're super broke. They wanna see if somebody else is broker than them to make him feel better. But guess what? I'm the one that bought the house for cash, not them. I have a commercial zone property, not them. And I bought this after the fact with that money from Expedite. And now I'm doing the same thing with Uber. And I'm just buying cars left and right. I have 33 cars right now. And I'm getting ready to build my own, warehouse slash shop, that kind of thing. And all the money is coming from Uber, not these cars. I'm not making any money on cars right now. Like, no. That is another thing. I've also like I've made businesses online that generate me income every month too. So I have money coming in from all over the place. I'm not rich, but I went from being just a regular broski, driving Expedite for 14 years, wasn't making money for a very long time, until I figured some things out, and then I started making money. And it takes time. But I'll tell you what, that 80 cents had nothing to do with it. It was the work ethic. I worked like hell to get that money. I worked double, triple shifts, man. I drove like for 36 hours straight. This is why I could come in here with that same mindset. I'm going to say, you know what? Regardless what Uber's paying me, even if I rent this Tesla, I'll freaking drive day and night. The Tesla rental is for 1 day. I'll use it for 2 days. So what do you think? Am I going to make money or am I going to lose money? Of course I'm going to make money. Not only that, I'm putting myself in such a position that I don't have to worry like about a tire blowing out. I don't have to worry about something breaking down in this car. They're gonna tow it for free and everything else because I bought the insurance. Always get the insurance. When you buy a brand new car, always get the gap. Get the gap. Yes, it's an upsell. Get the gap. Somebody crashes you, you'll need that money. Trust me. So I just eliminated all the headaches that come with making money. So the only thing this is really costing me is time right now. That's it, time. I'll make enough regardless, even if I accept every single ride. And to be honest with you guys, let me tell you this last little thing, okay? Last time I rented a Tesla, I was accepting all the garbage they threw at me. A lot of it was garbage, trust me. Somehow, I still made more money than right now. Right now, I'm cherry picking. I'm making less. And here's an example. When I started renting a Tesla, a buddy of mine owns a Tesla. He needed a job. Right now he's doing trucking, but he's like, hey, I got a Model 3 as well. He had a performance, and I was renting a Model 3 dual motor. We both came to Fort Mill to charge our Teslas. He was there before me. I came a little bit after. So we both charged it up. We ate some lunch and whatnot, you know. And here it comes, like we need to go online. I said, hey, Ted, go online first. He's a buddy of mine. I don't care. Go first. I'll always let people through. He went first. I went I went online a minute after him for Uber. Guess who got the ride first? I did. I was not a diamond at the time. I was blue. But guess what? I accepted every single ride. He didn't. And I got a ride and I went on. I didn't waste no time. And then he probably got a ride 15, 20, or 30 minutes right now. And guess what? This whole entire time, you notice how I didn't get any rides? Guess what? I'm online. I'll show you. Look at this. Look at this. I'm online. I'm online. I don't know why we're showing it around the area. See? I've been online this whole entire time. And if you stayed that long, you will realize I'm online for Uber Comfort and Uber Green. Guess what? Not a single damn offer. So if you're thinking you're going to get a brand new car, so you could get Uber Comfort, Electric, and Uber Green, think again. You're not going to get those offers. So your only primary focus should be Uber X. If you're lucky enough that your car does qualify for Uber Green or Comfort, you'll get it occasionally. Those rides do happen, believe me. But the main thing you're going to get is Uber X. So that's the only thing you should focus on. How can I make the most amount of money with Uber X car? So I have some cars that I could make money like that. I have those cars. So I needed to really test this out before I jump in and get myself a newer. Because every time I'm thinking like, I need to get a newer car. I need to get a newer car. I need to get a newer. No, I do not. I need to use what I got. Use a 4-cylinder car. If you can, use the most economical car you got. Or buy the most economical car. Do not buy a new car. Buy a car with mileage. Buy it used. Pay cash for it. Because the car breaks, at least you're free to do whatever. Even if it breaks, rent a car. Make the money, get it fixed, get back to your car because you're really not gonna lose money. But anyway, I'm glad that I've made it, and today is the last day that I'm testing just simply like Uber Comfort and Green. I gave it yesterday, and now I'm giving it slightly today. But I needed this little break. I mean, I really did not need it, but I was gonna make this video for you guys without any interruptions, and I've been actually available for a lot longer than a video, to be honest. Like, dang, I think I lost like 2 hours. I woke up today at like 7 a.m. Look, I still haven't had like any work at all. So let me see this. Let me see this. Driving time available. Let's just look at that. It's fake. I guess I didn't drive for them, so they're keeping the driving time the same. So let's look at the earnings. There is no earnings, so I don't think I'll even be able to click on it and be able to see like what's going on. But anyways, wasn't planning to share this with you guys, but here it is. This is yesterday's earnings for me driving Uber using a Tesla. So I worked 7 hours, 36 minutes, made 135.38 cents. And I know what you're thinking. This is not a lot. You're not going to make any money because that probably barely covered the Tesla rental and food. Like that right there, basically I broke even. That's it. But anyways, let's keep testing it every day. I'm going to make the best out of it. And trust me, I will make some money with this thing. And I will put some miles on this Tesla. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching.